Hey everyone, it's Michael Groff here to talk to you about your roof. With an active monsoon season expected this year, you need a name you can trust, and that's why you should call Blackstone Roofing Group for all of your roofing needs. Call for your free inspection today. Big or small, they do it all. Tile, shingle, or flat roofing, they can help. Offering free inspections and more. Roofing made easy. Call 602-536-9363 or visit blackstoneroufinggroup.com to schedule your free inspection today. And if you tell them Michael Groff sent you, they'll take $500 off the price of your roof replacement. Again, that's 602-536-9363 or blackstoneroufinggroup.com. It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Sunday, the 13th of July. I'm Michael Groff. It's another hot and mainly dry day out there today, but a few surprises potentially in our forecast for later this afternoon and tonight. Scattered showers and thunderstorms over the southeastern part of the state. A few of those could be severe. The other issue we're going to contend with is some isolated storms possible here in the lower deserts this afternoon and tonight. The main threat there, gusty winds blowing dust. But could we see anything in the valley? And then, of course, we've got that much advertised pattern change coming with a dramatic upswing in the number of showers and storms later this week. Moisture on the increase, clouds on the increase, and that means temperatures on the decrease. How low will they go? How much rain will there be? When and where does it occur? Oh, all of those typical questions that we deal with every single day, and we'll do that again here today as we dive on in and discuss. First, the Almanac from yesterday. 108 degrees the afternoon high, 88 the morning low. Anytime we don't hit 110 lately, it seems like that's kind of a blessing. 107 and 85 are the averages for this time of year. Fortunately, not near that record of 116 established last year, as well as 2020, those years that we would very much like to forget. All right, as we take a look outside right now, just after 11 a.m., we've got hazy sun out there, some high clouds around 100 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points drop to 50, relative humidity 19%. The winds are light and the barometer is steady. Satellite picture out here across the west, and it's kind of the same old story as we put it in motion. High pressure sits off to the west of us. It's gradually beginning to drift more to the northwest, centered just around or off the Southern California coast. More of a north, even northeasterly flow as it's an elongated kind of odd-shaped ridge here. We've got a short wave over the southern plain states. That's created those showers and storms and the flooding that just continues to hammer central and northern Texas and from the Guadalupe River on northward, just those areas that you just don't want to see getting any more rain. But a piece of energy breaking away and moving westward, kind of drifting across northern Mexico, and we will see some storms develop over southeast Arizona today, and there's even a risk later today in our part of the state. And you can see this is kind of the synoptic setup as it is right now, the broader view. And again, that big blue H there near Santa Barbara, this was as of earlier this morning, and that little wave over Texas. But again, what you don't see is there's another little upper level disturbance that should be drifting our way. And we're going to watch all of these players on the board shift with time, and we'll describe that in more detail here in a moment. The watch warning map. We're still dealing with the wildfire smoke across the northern tier states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, moving into the northeast. The Canadian wildfire smoke, it's back, and so we have these air quality alerts for at least the next couple of days there, and they may need to be extended. And yes, the flood watches, and yes, flood warnings for central Texas, the northern part of that state, as the heavy rain and the strong storms continue. Just inch after inch after inch of rain. And I know that we were dealing with drought conditions in some parts of the state a couple of months ago, but now it's way, way too much of a good thing. And the rescue efforts and the recovery efforts and just the devastation that's been going on for the last 10 days or so, there's not going to be any alleviation in that for some time. Now, out here in the West, we're still dealing with heat. We've got heat advisories and heat warnings and red flag warnings because of the dry conditions and wildfire potential from Nevada, the Great Basin, north and westward through the valleys of Northern California and up into the Pacific Northwest. Now, in our part of the state or our part of the world, we've got a blowing dust advisory for southeast Arizona. Gusty winds and blowing dust, the primary risk from thunderstorms down there today. And that is evident here on the convective outlook. We've got the standard slight risk of severe storms Level 2 out of 5 for southeast Arizona, including Tucson, down toward Douglas, Bisbee, Sierra Vista. So much of southeastern Pima County, Santa Cruz, Graham, Greenlee counties in that standard slight risk. And again, the major threat from any storms would be strong, maybe damaging straight line winds. Remember, for a storm to be severe, the criteria, there's two things: either hail that reaches the ground that's an inch in diameter or greater, or surface winds, thunderstorm winds that either by gust or sustained wind hit 58 miles per hour or greater. And that, the latter threat there is the major threat for southeast Arizona today from thunderstorms. And that could obviously kick up some blowing dust. Now, an isolated storm can't be ruled out in our part of the state today either. Now, this is the precipitation potential. This is valid through Sunday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, these numbers are creeping up with each update. Generally still between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch for us. But in southeastern Arizona, along the southern border, amounts could exceed 2 inches. And your amount will vary. And I will tell you, anytime during the monsoon, when we show you this graphic, we always tell you that because isolated thunderstorms can put down locally heavy rain far exceeding this. This just represents an average of what you'll see in a given area. So let's get into the details of this forecast right now. To do that, we explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go, the GFS. This is the 12Z run. It's valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at 500 millibars. That's about 18,000 feet off the ground. All right, high pressure is sitting in a generally unfavorable position to bring in monsoon moisture. It's along the California coast, kind of drifting to the north and west, but a weak little short wave is kind of cutting in here across New Mexico, and we're going to see a more enhanced northeasterly flow today, which in this kind of a setup isn't necessarily great, but there's enough instability for some showers and storms to pop up. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today: scattered showers and thunderstorms developing across southeast Arizona. For us, we'll turn partly cloudy for the rest of the afternoon, and isolated showers and thunderstorms will develop well to the north of the valley, north and northeast of the valley, along the rim and the mountains of Yavapai, Gila counties. And those will be pushed more toward the south-southwest. So let me show you what's going on here as we get to the high-resolution models. By the way, high temperatures this afternoon should be around 107 to 111. Certainly above average, but nothing record-breaking by any means. All right, here's our HRRR, the high-resolution rapid refresh model at 5 o'clock this afternoon, the simulated radar product. And again, the radar, it's probably not going to look exactly like this, but the idea is scattered showers and storms in southeast Arizona, places like Safford, Tucson, Fort Huachuca, down toward Douglas and Bisbee and Sierra Vista and Nogales. Further to the north and west of that, there's a few storms that are depicted here from parts of Mojave into Yavapai counties, maybe northern Gila County, and drifting to the south and west toward the lower deserts. Now, these storms have very little chance of making it in here. The subcloud layer is very dry today, but a stray storm getting in here can't be completely ruled out, and the more likely outcome from storms would be gusty winds and some blowing dust that may try to infringe upon the North Valley today. So, in looking at the atmospheric parameters, this is the surface-based CAPE this afternoon at 5 o'clock, and again, values are not zero. They're pretty low, though, generally just a couple hundred or a few hundred joules per kilogram. But that is still sufficient for at least some isolated storms. Yesterday, it sure looked like today was going to be dry, and tomorrow, for the most part, was going to be dry in our part of the state. But this, what did I say yesterday or Friday's video? Sometimes the monsoon just has a surprise or two for us. This time of the year, there's always something out there. And that's what we seem to have going on today or this afternoon. So the probability of precipitation here in the valley, about 10%, and mainly confined to the north and east valley. Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, Carefree, Cave Creek, New River, Rio Verde, maybe over toward Apache Junction, North Scottsdale. The south and west valley down here toward Studio B, Avondale, Buckeye, Goodyear, Litchfield Park, probably not, but maybe some gusty winds. We'll see how the afternoon plays out here. So that's how things look right now. Now, as we get into tonight, again, an isolated evening storm possible around here. Otherwise, we're partly cloudy in the evening, mostly clear overnight. Lows 80s to near 90. Yuck. And then tomorrow, it's kind of the same setup. High pressure is going to start to split, though. It's going to bifurcate. And so one ridge center is going to drift out over the Pacific. Another one is going to break off, move to the east, kind of drift across to the north of us, and ultimately establish itself near the Four Corners by midweek. So for tomorrow, we're still kind of in this slow transitional period here. So just like today, an isolated shower or thunderstorm is possible here in the lower deserts, including Phoenix, by the afternoon and evening hours. Otherwise, high temperatures, again, 107 to 111. Better chances of storms, east central and southeast Arizona. Let's go to Tuesday. Moisture levels are going to slowly increase as that ridge drifts closer to the Four Corners. So widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening hours will take place. A stray storm could get in here to the valley, but the more likely outcome from any storms that do occur, for us at least, in our part of the state, is gusty winds and blowing dust. That's why it takes usually a couple of days, maybe a few days, to get deeper moisture going in here, even when we have a favorable wind flow set up here. Still, we'll slightly increase the chance of storms here in the valley. And high temperatures are going to fall off a couple of degrees, probably around 104 to 108 for Tuesday as the humidity level slowly picks up and a few more clouds come in. Wednesday is really the day that things start to change more notably here. Partly sunny sky in the valley, scattered, mainly afternoon and evening showers and storms over the eastern mountains. And with an easterly flow, east-southeasterly flow, those will be directed toward the lower deserts, and the deeper moisture is starting to get in here at that time. So we're going to continue to increase the chance of storms getting in here. By Wednesday night, we'll bump that up to about a 30% chance in Phoenix, and we could see, indications are we could see kind of a nocturnal event for showers and storms. Storms continuing to keep going overnight, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So we'll just kind of broad brush keep the chance of storms all night and into the morning hours on Thursday. High temperatures Wednesday, again, will come down a few more degrees, highs 101 to 106. Here's Thursday, quite a few clouds around, partly sunny, and high temperatures, how about upper 90s to around 101 degrees? Yeah, that's below average. And now, of course, the trade-off is the humidity levels will be higher, but the chances of storms will probably be reaching their peak about that time. So we're going to bump up the rain chance to about 50%. And while the afternoon and evening hours are the favored times for storms, they could occur anytime. We'll see numerous showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain. Why is this happening? Well, we have all the ingredients coming together, right? We have a ridge that's sitting right there over the Four Corners. It's not as strong as the ridge we've seen recently. We have an area of low pressure that we've been talking about that's going to stall out essentially or move very, very slowly across northern Mexico. And it's just going to hang out down there to the south-southwest of us. So the flow between those will be east-southeasterly, and that's going to be favorable for bringing those storms off of the mountains into the lower deserts. Plus, with more diffluent flow aloft, that's going to create a more unstable air mass in general. And that's why storms could occur virtually any time of the day or night in this kind of a setup. Obviously, they'll favor the daytime heating process. Now, the one caveat we're going to throw in here is that model output for precipitation has not been overly abundant, despite the fact that this is a very favorable setup. And historically speaking, some of our best rain events come in these kinds of scenarios. And maybe the reason that the models have shown trepidation on QPF, on precipitation output, is because with all this moisture around and with all the clouds we expect to be around, that could potentially limit thermodynamics, the heating of the ground by the sun. The sun heats the ground heats the air, and that's what helps to bubble up those showers and storms. And with temperatures a little bit lower, it's less likely we'll hit that convective trigger temperature. But all of those things will probably work themselves out a little bit. We'll have a better idea, more clarity on how all of this is going to play out as we get closer and as we get in range of those convective allowing models. Right now, it's a broad brush forecast, and that's why we're going to keep it at about a 50% chance for Thursday. Even into Friday, we still expect scattered showers and thunderstorms around, virtually any time, more likely in the afternoon and evening hours. High temperatures will still probably hover around the upper 90s to near 104 degrees. Now, there's considerable model uncertainty, a lot of split amongst the models as to what's going to happen from Friday onward. Most of the GFS ensemble members show this area of low pressure just kind of hanging around. It stalls out. It just sits there Friday into Saturday, and eventually it just sort of fizzles out. If that's the scenario that happens, well, then we'll just continue with this moderate or even sort of a higher grade monsoon pattern all the way into next weekend. If the European and its ensemble members play out as they mostly advertise, what will happen is this low is going to start to move north by Friday, and it'll still give us a chance at showers and storms. And then on kind of the backside, we're going to get some drier air that comes in later into Friday and especially Saturday. And so that will limit the number of showers and storms around here, and we could see kind of a day or two of a break in activity, which typically is how these things play out. Which scenario happens? Hard to say at this point. Look, we're still several days away from all of this, so any of those scenarios or something completely different could be how this happens. That's just how it is right now. One thing's for sure, temperatures will remain below average even on Friday and into next Saturday. I expect high temperatures staying at or below seasonal averages with chances of storms around. If the European is the right solution, Saturday could turn out to be fairly dry here. This run of the GFS keeps showers and storms mainly over eastern Arizona during that time. So we'll see. It should be interesting either way. Let's keep it going a week from today. This is Sunday, the 20th. Now, the good news is most of the models still show the ridge staying in a favorable position to bring in monsoon moisture. So even if there is a break following this passage of this area of low pressure off to the north and west of us, a dry air push would be brief, moisture would return, so we'd see scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms. It's a typical monsoon forecast, and temperatures would be fairly close to seasonal averages. Here's Monday, the 21st, and still scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms will be with us each day. High temperatures still around 103 to 107, and it would be muggy, yes, partly sunny, yes, but a typical monsoon setup would continue. This is out, I don't know what happened to our 10 days, but somehow or another that got lost. Oh, well, I don't know. All right. Looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. The 10 days, by the way, out to Tuesday the 22nd. That still looks like a typical monsoon setup, scattered afternoon and evening showers and storms. It's a Sunday. Sometimes the graphics just do what they do. I don't know. All right, we don't want to turn a Sunday into a Monday, do we? Okay, rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 27th of the month. We're having fun here, right? That's the main goal. The ensemble mean about 0.4 of an inch for Phoenix. I told you that the overall rain output, the precipitation output off of these models has not been just absolutely robust. But given how dry it's been, hey, 0.4 of an inch sounds like an absolute deluge. Here's the European ensemble, and again, it's about the same, 0.4 of an inch. The control member here is up about an inch, though. So we do have some model spread here, and certainly with the monsoon, we all know that it's not just 0.4 of an inch. Somebody gets barely anything. Somebody gets 2 inches of rain. You know how these kinds of things play out. Temperatures off the national blend of models. I wonder if we're going to have the, just like yesterday, if we're going to have the mystery graphic that pops up. We'll see that July 22nd graphic just pop up here. All right, anyway, temperatures off the national blend of models. The trend is down. This is great news. Highs going below average. And again, it's printing out 101 and 103. It's very possible that if we get organized rainfall here later this week, we may have a day where temperatures don't even make it to the century mark. And I'll just give you an example here. The deterministic European model here, the latest, the 12Z run, has a high of 86 degrees on Friday. Is that going to happen? Almost certainly not. But if you will recall, 4 years ago, July of 2021, we did have 3 consecutive days with a high temperature in the 80s. Now that, I will tell you, is not going to happen. That's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. In fact, that had never happened before in Phoenix. It probably won't happen again for, who knows, a century. But could we have a high in the 80s? Maybe. It really depends on how this plays out, but one thing's for sure, below average temperatures are looking likely, at least for a while. And that is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you're really enjoying what we do here, you want to support the channel, that's great. Click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube. Make a monetary contribution to us, $2, $5, $912,668.89. Any of those amounts or whatever would really help us out. Of course, you can send your donations to PayPal as well. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is linked up down in the description as well. All right, the executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle. Check her out, blogs, videos, everything Michelle related. It is all linked up down in the description. There's probably Adriana related stuff. And, it's going to be Adriana's birthday very, very soon. A lot of birthdays this month. Not mine, but a lot of other birthdays. And not Michelle's either. We're about the only people that don't have a birthday this month, seemingly. All right. Where else are we here on this? Well, that's it. Our streaming station, it's available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. Give that a listen. Linked up in the description. Check out friend of the channel, the Courtroom Files. It is great content and hours of enjoyment. We have many, many, many videos on this channel. I think we're well over, I don't even know how many videos we have. I think like 2,000. I don't even know. It's some insane amount, 1,500, 2,000 videos, whatever we have. But rather than watching old weather videos, which I'd be fine with if I were you, but I'm a geek, why not geek out on some law tube stuff? So check out Dan over there at the Courtroom Files. Okay, let's see. That's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. There was no mystery graphic in there. That's good. I don't know what happened to it, but it just completely disappeared. That's what happens. We don't take ourselves too seriously here at the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. It's just something fun. We like to just, especially here on the weekend. Come on, man. We can't be too serious on a weekend. You guys, though, what I'm going to be serious about for a second is please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, please. And have yourselves a beautiful rest of your Sunday.